Hi class, welcome to the final week of this project, Values and Justice. Final workshop, final week, it's all coming together and I'm very excited for the trial later at the end of this week, but we have this last workshop to do. So let's get to it. It's similar to the one you last did in workshop 5. We're staying away from that Sussman model. This one's called Early Tests of the American Government. And just for your content and your content conception, basically where we're at is we have our new Constitution. We rolled out our brand new Constitution, complete with a Bill of Rights, all those compromises that we talked about, a new and improved plan on how to structure the American government that doesn't completely ruin our country like the Articles of Confederation did. And this new style of American government isn't going to go untested. In the first couple of years, it's going to have some really early tests to prove that it's the government style to take us all the way up to the present day. We haven't changed this Constitution since, and we probably will never will, because of how great of a Constitution our Founding Fathers were able to write and come up with. So if we took a look at Task 1, you're going to be taking a look at this document, and it's talking about some of the first actions that our very, very first president, President Washington, did while in office. So these are some of the first presidential actions ever to be done whatsoever in the history of our country. So you're going to read that document, and you're going to answer these two questions here on the Federal Judiciary Act and one other change that President Washington does to make the executive branch do its job better and more effective. After you're done with that, in your groups, of course, you're going to be going you're going to be in your groups for the first task. And then when everyone's done, we're going to come together as a class and we're going to watch this video. It's really cool. It's from an HBO series that I highly recommend called Adams. And it's about the life of John Adams. Most people kind of shrug him off as our first vice president, our second president, but he was very instrumental in a lot of our early events historically. So it's important to take a look at him. And it's a really cool it's a dramatization. It's an HBO series, so you can imagine what it kind of looks like. So it's a really cool video. And this task has to do with Alexander Hamilton's economic plan. The video that we're going to watch is basically Alexander Hamilton getting up on his soapbox and explaining what his economic plan is and why he believes in it so much. And then across the table, Thomas Jefferson, they're all sitting down having tea because that's what old people did back then. Thomas Jefferson comes at him and says, well, this is why I don't believe in your plan. This is why I don't think that's right. It's not constitutional, in fact, is what he says. And the two have a little bit of a debate at the dinner table till George Washington steps in and says, all right, guys, calm down. It's all right. We'll figure it out. So you're going to take a look at that video, and then you're going to fill out this graphic organizer. And I have another website linked in case you need some help with that as well. So you're going to take a look at what the economic plan was and what Hamilton's view, why he believed it was constitutional, and what Thomas Jefferson's view was, why he believes it's unconstitutional. And then for the third and final task, you're going to go to this website, and you're going to find it very familiar. It's the exact website that you got your landmark Supreme Court cases from, so you should know it pretty well by now. And you're going to take a look at these 3 very important cases that you haven't looked at yet. You've been looking at mostly 1950 onward in terms of evidence for your argument and for your court case. You're going to look at 3 kind of earlier ones: Marbury versus Madison, McCulloch versus Maryland, and Givens versus Ogden. And why these cases are so important, well, you're going to figure that out for yourself. But let me just tell you that they tested the early Constitution, the early American government, and said, okay, you put all this down in the Constitution, let's see if you actually enforce it, if you really uphold to it. And I'll tell you right now that the American government did, or else we wouldn't have the Constitution around today that we do. So you're going to take a look at that, and you're going to look at side 1, side 2. It doesn't matter which one you deem side 1, which one you deem side 2, but explore both sides of the court case, the decision, and how that decision strengthened the power of the federal government. Because with each one of these cases, it's basically being like, yeah, that's what we wrote down in the Constitution, right? So that's how we're going to live by. Kind of with a question mark at the end, is that are we really going to enforce it? Are we really going to go and listen to this Constitution? And each time the Supreme Court says, yes, we are. Here's why, and they cited exactly why as evidence in the Constitution that they were going to. Similar to how you guys cite evidence when you do tasks for me. Interesting. So that's the 3 tasks, the final workshop, final week of the project. If you have any questions, let me know, and we will go over it in the next segment.